We teach a four-step process that we call reach, throw, row, and go. Reach, throw, row, and go. And you should attempt to rescue in that order. The first thing you try to do is reach them with something, like a rope, or more common things people would have would be a fishing pole, or a stick, or limb, or a boat paddle. There's a lot of things you can reach out to people without them grabbing onto you, which is what you would want to be last. If you could throw something to them, and the things people have around the waterways are coolers, water jugs, a throwable life jacket like this is designed to be thrown to somebody. But a lot of things will float, and it's better for them to grab onto that instead of grabbing onto you. If they're too far to throw something or reach them, then the next step is row, which basically insinuates take a boat or a raft of some type. And some ocean beaches, the lifeguards still use modified surfboards so they can paddle out to a victim, and they have a platform or something sturdy that's going to float instead of just you yourself. And a very absolute last resort would be going in the water yourself after somebody. And even if you had to do that, you should still take something with you that would float, let them grab onto that instead of grabbing onto you. And that's why especially ocean lifeguards, or lifeguards even at a swim beach like here, always have a rescue tube or float with them, and they don't go anywhere without that. If you had to go in the water, you have that would keep you and the victim afloat instead of just yourself. Because a drowning person is in a state of panic, and they're just in a state of panic. They're not thinking clearly, and all they try to do is get to the surface. And anything they can get a hold of that will help them get to the surface will enable them to get a breath of air. It's a similar panic to if somebody was suffocating or choking. If you had a plastic bag over your head and you couldn't breathe, it's just a state of panic that sets in. Same thing as if somebody was choking you, and the only thing you need is air, and they call it climbing the ladder. And a drowning victim will do like they're climbing a ladder, and if you're close enough, then you're going to be the ladder, which is not where you would want to be. Most people think they can swim, but most of those people are wrong. Most people could swim 10 foot to get to the side of a pool. But if all they've done is swim in a neighborhood pool, back and forth and flop around a little bit, they're not ready for any long distance swim. And a lot of these drownings we get are people that come to a lake and try to swim out to a dock or across a cove, and they may be physically fit people, but they don't have a background in distance swimming. And once they get a little bit out of breath, they get worried, and they get a little bit of water in their mouth, and exhaustion or a couple other things will just instinctively lead to panic. And when somebody panics, it's pretty much all over.